Hello and welcome to another random episode of the AV Experience. I'm your host, Ryan, joined as always by Jonathan, I forget his last name, who has not changed out of the clothes he woke up in. It's one of those days. That is like me with Christmas, where I'll be in the same outfit for like a week. So, I mean, I could be right there with you. We matched on red.
Yeah.
The camera's making this look a little bit orange. But we haven't done this in a while. I keep
It's been a
forgetting.
while.
We had the holidays. Things got busy. We're not really doing it on the weekends because we've been super busy, I guess, with holiday stuff. And I randomly sent Jonathan a message and said, "Hey, let's talk about stuff. We both watched a really bad movie, so let's make it all about really bad movies." And this movie, we'll get to it in a minute, was suggested by a viewer.
Bruce Barnes, he owes me like so much.
Like, I was not going to say the name, and Jonathan's like, "Damn it,
He's getting called out." Awful
out.
movie.
So we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about other really bad movies. Fun, not fun. We talk a lot about bad movies, but this one was something. This one was something else. So you've been well, Jonathan. Everything great? Family's good?
Yeah, all good.
You and I went through some stuff. We're launching the VIP stuff for M-Wave. So that is something you and I talked about. I want people to go to midwestavexperience.net. Is there a caption? Do I have a caption? I don't. I'm going to make one. Not a lower third. I want to... Sure. There we go. This one. Just go here for me and check the website for any errors. The VIP stuff is available. It has the times. We're still waiting on some stuff from one of the home theater owners, Tim. He sent me some things. I don't know if he sent me pictures. I haven't opened the email, but I need to go through and do his. Jonathan helped me go through some stuff looking for grammatical errors on some things, but I want chat to go through with me or on your own and just send them to me. Ryan at ascendav.net. If you have my phone number, you can text me any of the errors. Just let me know what they are so we can get them corrected. If you want to buy the tickets, they are available if you want to do that. So first come, first serve. If you guys think that the VIP stuff is something you'd want to do, you can absolutely do that because it is live. But if you also want to help me try and track down the grammatical stuff, that would be a huge help because I've just been working on this when I have time. Okay. So, movies. We watched Jurassic Predator. And the funny thing is, Bruce was like on us to watch this movie. He would text me, "Have you watched the movie yet? Have you watched the movie yet?"
A couple different streams too. Like, hey, you guys got to watch this one.
And that movie, I don't remember if I told you this, Jonathan. When that movie started, maybe you felt the same way. I didn't think I was watching the correct movie. I thought it was wrong because there's nothing in the intro that is any indication of anything related to Jurassic Predation.
Right.
At all.
The character introduction is like a coffee diner with a robbery or something that's totally, outside of the realm you expect.
I thought it was the wrong movie. I actually backed out and went and checked and made sure that I was watching the correct movie.
That's when you wish you got distracted and never went back.
And I didn't. I went back and I watched it. Did you watch it to completion?
I don't know why I did, but I did. I think I kept thinking this has got to get better.
And then Bruce tells us he hasn't seen it. He made us watch it.
Oh, Bruce, even worse.
Yes. That was...
How do we unfriend on this thing? How does that...
We should just ban him. Yes. It was... Okay, we're going to ruin this movie because
it doesn't matter. It's already ruined. There's no point in watching it. Spoilers come. Here we go.
It's all about this Tyrannosaurus that is a lab animal in the city or outside the city, I guess, but it's on the mainland. And it gets out because how did it even get out?
I it killed people in the lab, just like sliced them with a plastic hand and
It's
some
razor
slobber.
tail or something. They got cut in half. I liked how it was always sausages that were coming out of people, like rubber
Oh
entrails,
my
but it looked
goodness,
very
it was
much
so
like
bad.
sausage links.
There wouldn't even be any, like, meat in there. It would just be, like, sausage links from the butcher that were coming out of a pair of pants laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, it got him. It was so
Oh,
terrible.
man, and then the T-Rex was a rubber costume, so you only ever saw its head.
I thought it was like one of those plastic, like, things you get at Walmart that's, like, for a little kid's toy, and they held it real close to the camera and
Oh,
kinda,
that's
like,
entirely possible.
danced it around like this, like, all you ever saw was its head, and they put some, like, dog slobber coming out of its
That
mouth or
is po
something.
I didn't think about that. That is absolutely possible. It may
It's
have been that
so bad.
it was
And it was like the same B-roll footage every time they showed the dinosaur. It didn't matter what it was doing, especially towards the end of the movie. It was
yeah,
always like this little puppet thing going right in front of the camera where you just saw its head
yep,
moving.
yep,
You would never see it, like, actually attacking someone or anything. They didn't have the budget for that.
and
It
then
was
it
like
just
it would cut away.
and then the movie ended by it randomly getting attacked by an attack helicopter and blowing up, and then that was the end. Well, no, it wasn't the end because then the attack helicopter had to go kill them, and then it
Uh,
ended.
the plot is absolutely ridiculous too. I mean, they had to hire these guys to go after the dinosaur because it was close to civilization and they didn't want civilization to know, and then they just attacked the dinosaur next to civilization, like, in a housing row
With a
with an attack
helicopter?
helicopter,
Why didn't they
which
do
they
that from the beginning?
could have done without involving these derelict mercenary guys anyway.
And then what made him a derelict mercenary guy?
Their
It
stupid
was the
backstories are
worst
all
choice ever to for him to be chosen, and then I liked when he was like, "I'm gonna shoot you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, bang," and then he'd shoot him with a paintball, and I thought it was funny in the coffee shop. It was you saw it. It was literally a paintball that the guy got shot with, that they were making it look like blood, and then he'd say something along the lines of, "That was telling you what I was gonna do," or something like that, and it was this really dumb line that didn't make any sense.
I don't know how you distinguish one line that was dumb in that movie.
Okay, the whole thing, the whole
All the
script,
dialogue was dumb.
the whole
And the
script.
acting, that female actor in, like, the woods, like,
Oh, man,
have you ever seen a worse actress than that in your
and
entire
she
life?
was
I don't
supposed to
know
be
that
the
I have.
professional actor.
I don't know that I have.
Jonathan could have been a better female lead than her.
They spent, like, 10 or 15 minutes introducing this guy who was having a fling or an affair or something as, like, one of the characters, and then they killed him off in, like, 30 seconds when they went on the dinosaur hunt.
Yep. Why?
Like, why would you have a 15-minute setup for some character you're gonna kill off in, 30 seconds? 15-minute, 30 seconds.
Uh, I don't know.
And then the crazy guy that didn't, like, was just, like, coked out or something, he's one of the guys that lived. That was
Yeah,
kinda surprising. I expected him to be one of the ones that died, so there was a plot twist.
or
He
they
got stuck
forgot. Maybe they
par
forgot to kill him. Which is entirely possible. Like, it was that all over the place. There really wasn't much of a plot. I don't even know how they got to some of the things they did. Eh, Iron Eagle had a better plot than this movie,
Mm,
and
I
Iron
didn't
Eagle is a really bad movie. I enjoy Iron Eagle because it's aviation and it's so ridiculous. It's just bad, but it has a better plot than this. It has better acting than this. This may be the worst movie I've ever seen.
I think it actually does get that
I
award
don't
for me
know how
too.
it has a 2.5-star rating. It might as well have a 10-star rating for it having 2.5 star. There are better movies that have 0 stars than this thing.
It's really, really bad.
It's it's really bad. It was so bad it ended, and I think I verbally said, "What did I just watch? And why did I just watch
Why
it?" There was
why did
nobody
we
else in
watch
the
it to
theater,
the end?
and I'm the only
It's such
one.
a train wreck.
And then I'm
I don't know why
thinking,
I didn't turn it off.
"Why did I waste these hours on my projector?"
Yeah.
I
The
could have. I'm
main
not getting
character
these back.
the main character, was like a cut rate Jason Statham, like he was like a flunky Jason Statham, and the rest of the actors were just not even worth, like, comparing. They just weren't good, and the actress was the worst I've ever seen. The special effects were awful.
There weren't any special effects. Well, yeah, there were. At the end, when they're shooting the T-Rex with the guns, they're literally sitting there doing this.
Yes, they are. And some fake muzzle flash
Oh,
being
man.
drawn in.
The fact that it is on a streaming site boggles my mind.
Well, why has Amazon got it? Yeah, I mean, was it produced by Amazon or is it just on Prime? Let me look.
I don't know. I looked at global box office, and I think they sold like 2 tickets in China.
It has a 2.9 rating on IMDb, and it's not even a new movie. It's 2018.
So 2.9 means it went up. It was at 2.5. Somebody rated it above 2.5 stars.
Oh, when you click into it, actually it's 2.8, so that must be an old cached link or
K
something.
for Constant says, so just to clarify, you don't recommend this movie.
Just to clarify, yeah, you got it. Here's a first review on here. The acting is high school quality through the storyline, script, and special effects, and the terrible sound that's something else. The terrible sound, the dialogue like would just go away when they're in the middle of talking some of the time.
I thought you were joking when you told me about that. It was really bizarre. I've never heard that in my life. It's like you're in middle school, you're learning how to stitch movies together using like Movie Time, or so, I don't know what the application is, and you accidentally drop the volume on one of the stitches, and you just leave it that way for all of production and mastering.
They didn't correct it at all, and it was multiple times.
Yes.
And then the next actor would come in and it would be like full strength audio. So one actor would be like dying away at the voice where you couldn't even hear him anymore, but you could still see him talking. And the other one come in strong, like the mic died or something.
It was it's probably what happened. Well, his mic died. We're not going to go back and fix that.
No dubbing was being found anywhere in this movie.
It makes the 1998. I'm referencing this because it's come up multiple times in chat. The 1998 version of Godzilla seemed like an Oscar award-winning film.
Oh man. It
was bad. What's the next bad movie?
So the title of this thread is like, are bad movies good? I don't purposely want to ever watch bad movies. I don't know why I threw it into this one.
No,
I know there's people that enjoy that. Like they get a chuckle out of watching terrible movies. I just don't want any part of that. I just don't.
What other bad movies have you watched, Jonathan? Come on. I watched Troll recently. It was bad.
Wait, is that like the Amazon Prime one?
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Okay. I think I've seen the little label for that, but I've never watched it. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Spectral was also bad. Not as bad as this. Was Extraction 2 bad? No, Extraction 2 was good. I enjoyed that. I'm trying to go through my Netflix list and see what I've actually watched that was really bad. Is there a way to look at your history on Netflix?
Yes, Netflix for sure.
Yeah, but mine's going to be like so antiquated.
I mean, I don't have that many of them. I purposely steer clear unless it's a genre that I might particularly be okay with, which is why it's probably why I watched this dinosaur movie, because who doesn't like a good dinosaur movie? But this was so bad it couldn't even save it by the genre. Like I'll watch a post-apocalyptic movie that's got poor ratings or whatever just because I like that genre.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't watch. I wouldn't choose to watch like a rom-com with terrible ratings or some sort of adventure movie with terrible ratings. It has to be a genre that I think I would be endeared to before I would even consider it. So like the worst movies I've ever watched, probably the top 3 are Rami and Michelle's High School Reunion, which I saw in high school with a group of friends and was so bad. If I wasn't on a double date, I would have walked out of it. It was awful.
It was worse than Jurassic Predator.
No. And then War of the Worlds that we recently consumed. That was like,
I feel like I'm bad for your movie selection.
And then this one that Bruce recommended that
Bruce,
slap
it
him
was
around instead of
bad.
meet him.
It was. I may be dumber for having watched that.
You are. There's no maybe. We are. Why didn't we turn it off? There's some sort of like guilt responsibility that I felt like I needed to watch this since
I
we were
think
going
it
to
was
talk about
because it was like watching a train wreck. I laughed out loud. And reminder, I'm watching this by myself in my theater with the door shut. I laughed out loud when the T-Rex came on screen.
Mm.
And I laughed pretty hard when the T-Rex slaughtered those two people as it's going out the door. How does the T-Rex also fit out a normal man-sized door?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to waste any more brain cells thinking about that movie.
All right, fine. Have you watched any good movies lately?
I bought some movies lately, but I haven't been watching that many.
You asked me about some
Black Friday
movies
sale.
today.
Did you end up watching that Christmas pageant movie I told you about that's real good?
No, not yet.
Watch that one before Christmas. You'll love it. I think you'll
Okay.
love it.
I need to watch that. I watched Weapons yesterday.
Well, did you like it? Tim's been talking about that one a lot.
It was okay.
He said it was a good mix of comedy and horror.
I didn't get the comedic element of it, but I appreciated that it was different. Okay, I did get the comedic a little bit because the main character is pretty ridiculous. So I did understand. I guess that may have been a trope, but I don't think I'm in enough in the horror scene to know. Yeah, Fat Man Weapons was mid. Like it was okay. It wasn't the best movie, but it was watchable, I would say. And the best thing I have to say about it is I appreciated that it was different. It wasn't a premise that I had seen and explored, but again, I'm not huge into the horror scene, so maybe it's a overused storyline. I don't know, but it was fine. You wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Yeah, he warned me. He said this isn't for you, but
no, definitely not for you. So watched Weapons. What else have I watched?
Look at Bruce. I'm reading the comments. Bruce, you are never getting another watch.
You're not. There's no more recommendations from Bruce. That is not happening.
You burnt that bridge, man. Sorry.
I watched Nobody.
No, Nobody is the one where it's like like a picture where he's beat up on the cover. I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah.
Does that one look pretty good? Is it fun?
Yeah. It's like not as good John Wick, but it's still fun to watch. You'd probably enjoy it. Not the best movie you've ever seen, but it was enjoyable. People say that Nobody 2 is better, so I'm going to watch that next. My wife watched it with me and said, not a great movie, didn't have any plot, but it's fun. You got to watch it and know and appreciate it for what it is. So it was fine. I watched that. I watched Hansel and Gretel a while ago. I think I talked about it on stream on one of the solo streams. It was okay. People are saying they liked it. I did not like it. Excommunicado. Yeah.
That's right.
That's fair. And then I got Tron Ares, which I have not seen yet.
I just heard recently someone sent me a PM was talking about how Tron Ares was fantastic for audio and video. Like
it's supposed to be. 9 Inch Nails is supposed to do an amazing job with the soundtrack. So I'm excited about that. No idea when I'm gonna watch it, but I do have it. And that's been all my movie watching that I've done so far.
You've watched quite a few since last we talked.
4 over the last couple weeks.
We had a kid's birthday. We went to Silver Dollar City for a couple days in there. I haven't had a whole lot of time, and I've been playing a game in my spare time, Arc Raiders, that I really am enjoying. So
that I am not going to play.
You should. I really enjoy it. We'll team up.
No.
Go on some missions.
For anybody that wonders why, it's because I will become addicted to it, and I am going to avoid it. That's why. So I know my personality well enough that if I go into that, because there's a PvP aspect, I told Jonathan this earlier, I will be a man that has no life. It will be South Park reincarnated. So we're going to avoid that. Nothing else. I don't know of any other movies that I want to watch. Oh, I want to watch Underwater, which was the movie we saw the clip of at one of the guys in Iowa. So I'm going to watch that. I got that. And then Tron Ares, Nobody 2. I want to watch Elio, which is one of the Disney Pixar movies that came out several months ago. I think that's it.
Bruce is like, I got a video game for you could try. It's really good. Nope.
I should time him out. Should go away.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
random.
Hey, speaking of video games, have you ever played a really bad video game? That's memorably bad. I have one. When I was in college, I signed up to be a video game beta tester, and I got my first one, and I thought this will be cool. It's the only one I ever did, and I couldn't play it for more than like an hour because it was so bad. It was some sort of flight simulator, like combat simulator. The graphics looked like they were 10 years older than they were. It was so buggy. There was nobody else around. The AI was terrible when you found them. Like the ocean was just like a flat plane. It was awful. And I thought, if this is what beta testing video games is like, you're supposed to give them feedback. And like the only feedback you could give on that game was it's absolutely terrible. And I, couldn't stand to play it. so that started and ended my video game beta testing.
That was the first and only. Yeah. Maybe Jonathan, the flip side of that, maybe he was so bad at beta testing that the game wasn't actually, that game was actually Gran Turismo. And he was just so bad at what he was doing. It didn't work out.
No, it was so bad, man. And I think that is like principally what I think. Like if something's so bad that it's a huge waste of time, I like bad movie, bad game. There's better things to do in life. I don't watch terrible things.
Think so. No, I mean games like Roblox. They baffle me. I don't. No substance. Don't get it. No, I don't remember. I'm sure there are, and I just block them out. Not that I can remember, but I'm very much a one game guy. I don't diverge or have a bunch of titles I'm playing at the same time. I want to play something through to completion and then I'll keep playing it for a long time before I move on to something else. So no, I don't have that experience.
Bruce Barnes has a question in chat on a serious note, and he actually already PM'd me, and I gave him some advice. See if you have any ideas. He has noticed that he has the subs in the front and the rear of the room, and they're all stock sound subs. And only with content with LFE do the rear subs, they're not configured to be rear subs, they're just configured to split off an LFE. He's got a Denon 3800 or 6800, I don't even remember right now, but one of the Denons with 4 sub outs. And only the front subs in the room play on like stereo content with bass. And the rear sub does not, but it's configured identically. I said, sounds like you have directional bass on, because when you have directional bass on with the Denon or Marantz product, it will, I mean, that's how it's designed to do. It will not play, like 2-channel audio won't put out sub sound to the rear thing. So I said, switch it to your front channels or switch it to standard LFE and see if that fixes it. And he's saying that he tried it and it didn't work. He says it does come to life, like on movies, the rear subs come to life, but they do not come to life on 2-channel music. I mean, he's not running Dirac. It's like an Odyssey config. That doesn't even make sense to me. Like if you've got an LFE out, it should send the same signal. Like he's got his rear subs on LFE 2 and his front subs on LFE 1.
Well, it would make sense if LFE was going to all 4 subs, but stereo, like your main bass wasn't. Your crossover stuff wasn't. So it makes sense that his subs come to life with LFE content. I wonder if the crossover dial on his rear subs is set differently than the fronts.
I asked him to check it. Did you check that, Bruce? Were you just making sure your settings, like your crossover settings, are the same on both of them?
And not in the Denon on the physical sub.
And your gain attenuation knobs on the sub, make sure that they're not set up differently. It's almost like it could be if your SPL channel trims are basically the same. So if your rear is like, say, -7 and your front's at -6 or something, that's immaterial. If your rear's at like -12 and your front's at like +6, I mean, I'm just making stuff up here, but say it's like that kind of disparity, it may be that it's not sending enough voltage to wake up out of sleep mode until you get to something that's really booming. Like
that's a thought.
Content. But if your SPL trim, if your channel trims are similar between the two, that shouldn't be the case. It'd only be if
That
they're
is actually a thought. And if it's a really long run, especially with RCAs, you could be getting some
signal attenuation.
Yeah, and it's not enough to wake it. So try and if your sub has the ability to not be on auto and you can just turn it on, does that change anything? Good thought. I wouldn't have thought of that.
And one of the other things you could do is actually just switch the cables if you can, and run the front subs to the rear and rear to the front, and see if it follows. Yes, yes. Happy Bullets, best. You win the comment of the night. There it is, man.
Well said. Well said. All right. So if anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to drop them in chat. We will get to them in the order they come in. Jonathan has to go here in a little bit. His family's doing holiday decorating. My 7-year-old loves holiday decorating so much she will actually get the containers out by herself and decorate the entire house.
Woo.
So she is a machine, and she actually does a really good job. Like you would never know a 7-year-old decorated our house.
Oh, I know.
Well, now you know.
No, I'm kidding.
But she,
I couldn't pass
well, I
it.
know.
I'm kidding. I haven't even seen your house. It's totally a joke.
So she will sit there, she'll grab something and she'll sit there and look at something and try and figure out where she wants to put it. And she does a really good job. So she's our primary decorator and she is on us. When are we going to decorate the house? When can we get the tree up? When can we get the decorations out? When can we do that? All the holidays. This is what she does. No, definitely not me.
She's into it.
She's into it. Absolutely. All right. So there's not a ton of questions so far. I think there's 3 in queue right now, but we'll jump into them. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in chat and we'll get to them in the order they are received. Fatman says, when you are designing a system for a client, do you use any modeling graphical software or just list stuff for hand sketches? If so, what software? I prefer hand sketches for this kind of stuff. Doing things by hand, I feel like makes you think about things a bit more instead of having a computer do it. And so I like doing everything by hand as much as possible. But a lot of it is for a lot of my clients, we're not to the point where we're doing anything like that. They just want some speakers and stuff for a media space. So they don't want anything necessarily drawn out. But if I do it, it's typically by hand because it just makes it more finite and allows me to think through things a bit more. So graphing paper and ruler and pencils is the best way to go about it.
Look at Bruce's new comment. I swapped the 1 and 2 outputs, and the rear stayed on now, and the fronts for flipping on and off. So, I mean, that tells you your subwoofer 2 is doing something weird. If your crossovers are all the same and your gains are all the same.
So it wouldn't be the first time that I've actually heard that the voltage on output 2 deteriorated. He could just have a bad output.
Well, and he's saying that the rears are set 5 dB lower than the fronts just because they're closer, and that's how Odyssey did it. Set them to be the same and see if you have the same problem. It could be some sort of weird voltage threshold with the SOC sound, or what is it? It's not SOC sound. What's the name of the subwoofers that are 2 for $1,000, basically for 15s? They look almost like UMs. Stark sound. Thank you.
Yeah.
Try it, Bruce, just in the way of trial. Set them both to be the same gain level and see if that gets rid of your
But your second output could have deteriorated. That wouldn't be the first time I've heard of that. Ollie says, instead of a new wife, I ordered 2 Dayton Audio SS1822s to replace my PB16s. For the space, ChatGPT says go for boxes of 5.4 cubic feet. Stats show QTC of 0.55, FC of 31 hertz. Should I proceed?
Dayton Audio almost always has a recommended sealed and ported size on their PDF, their spec sheet. Let me see if I can find that for you real quick. That doesn't sound out of line out of the gate, but I don't know specifically for that driver. See if I can find the PDF for that. Spec sheet. I'm looking. I found the sheet, but
Got to find the relevant information.
exactly, and I don't think this has it, so maybe it's on a different sheet here.
He's lying. Jonathan's saying that Parts Express does that.
They usually do.
Liar.
Let's see this thing. No, I don't see that this time. It doesn't look like they have a recommendation.
I don't
at
even
least
know why I
Academy
stream with you.
brands.
You say things and then it's just not true. Just
They
not
used to have it on the
That
UM1822. The
doesn't sound out of
recommendation.
line. How big are your boxes?
My ones that I just built for right behind my near field seat are 6 feet. So I mean that's in the 6 cubic feet. So it's in the exact same ballpark.
That sounds appropriate.
My 21-inch squared ones are probably more like, I don't know, 3 or 4 cubic feet. So yeah, I mean you're fine. Basically, what's going to happen is that you have bigger airspace. You're going to get an easier ability to play low with high excursion because there's less air resistance. You can also reduce power handling, which is probably a good thing by having a bigger box. Like there's not very much reason to worry about too big of a box unless your motor structure is weak. And those SS1822s don't have a weak motor, so you're okay. Like I don't lose sleep over your box size. You're in the ballpark.
Yeah. I think you're okay. Nothing to worry about. Fat Man says, low priority question. I saw a home theater tour where they had 3 front channels under the screen and 3 above 6 screen channels. Is that a variation of the dual center stuff? So you can do this. Sony has the ability out of the box to do this. I think they're one of the only mainstream receivers that allows this. Storm and Chernov, you can absolutely do this. It is a compromise. You can introduce comb filtering. Whether or not you notice the comb filtering is up to you. But it's absolutely something you can do. One of the problems you have with this, though, is if you do a multi-seat theater, it's not going to work very well because how the speakers blend together to get your anchoring into the center is only going to work at one distance. If that changes, i.e. for a second row, it's not going to be the same. Now, what I always tell people, and Jonathan, I think you agree, is don't design for the 1% use case. Design for the 99%. So if you're typically the only one that watches or that row is the only one that's utilized, don't worry about it because people that are in the second row probably aren't going to care. So it's absolutely something you can do. It is a compromise, but for things like video walls, it's a necessary compromise, I would say, in order to get anchoring into the middle. Ascendo's doing things like this. Wisdom's doing things like this. I think Alcons may have an option for this. Pro Audio. A lot of the higher end, bigger names have options for video wall implementations in order to anchor the sound into the middle to make it a better immersive experience. Got anything to add, Jonathan? Or are you still trying to find the box size?
I was still trying to find the box size. No, it's fine. I heard you. I don't think for a single row that it will make much difference to do that. If your second row is elevated or a different height, then yes, it could start playing. But if you think about like the amount that it's going to cater towards the center seat as far as vertical difference for comb filtering is probably going to be similar between the seat to the left and the seat to the right. If your seating is close, especially like if you have tight seating, say a couch or something instead of some sort of giant wide seating area. And the second row might be off because the amount of top versus the amount of bottom that you're dialed in might be different and that kind of thing at a different height. But I still don't know that it will matter that much because I think it might fall into the realm of something you can measure on a graph, but maybe not hear as much as with your own ears.
You can hear it. I've done it through experience, but again, does it matter for the people that are in that row? That's my take on it.
Well, I'm just thinking back to that time, and I've talked about it before on the podcast when Randy Bessinger had a professionally installed Procella system, uh, vendor installed, professionally calibrated, center channel above and below screen, and throughout the entire room. He didn't have left and right like that. He just had the center. But throughout the entire room, it was a 2015 crawl. Some of the most reliable and consistent comments were how good the dialogue was in his room.
Mm-hmm.
And I measured it with my Omni mic because I was curious about that, because I'd read all over the forums that comb filtering was like devastating. And I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking, oh, how did he get away from comb filtering? Comb filtering looked awful on my measurement. I mean, even with Omni mic, which notoriously smooths a lot more than REW, it was like this, right? But it sounded great. So
Yep.
that's why I say I think this could be in the realm of something that, and he didn't have one row. He had two different rows, and they were different elevations. So what I'm saying is, I think even things that you can measure that potentially look bad on a graph, maybe our ears don't have the capability or picking that up, or maybe our brains are overriding a little bit what we're hearing and kind of smoothing that out for us anyway. It, at any rate, the center channel experience at Randy Bessinger's house worked, and worked for a lot of people. I haven't heard the whole left center right thing, but I would assume the principle could apply.
Fat Man, I've been going down the rabbit hole of XX4 Atmos, 45 versus 30 degrees debate. What are your thoughts?
I like them in tighter, so I would prefer the 45 versus the 30, personally speaking. 45 would be a steeper angle, closer to the listening position, because 90 would be straight overhead, so 45 would be steeper, closer. 30 would be further out.
Yeah, you're right. And I would agree with you. Better overhead.
Been in a whole lot of different rooms, Fat Man, and I don't know how much of that is subject to preference or not, but anytime the Atmos speakers are spread out real wide in the room, I don't like it as much. It's not as detectable as overhead as much, and it's not, your dispersion patterns are usually off on the speakers unless they're strictly aiming at you. So I'm a big proponent of maybe even higher than 45 potentially, but 45 certainly more than 30 in my opinion.
I would agree. And your room is evidence of that. Yours are very overhead. It allows for more separation from the tops versus the surrounds, which I think is needed.
Yeah.
Ryan B6763, how do I get the Bass Shaker channel to play when listening to music videos on YouTube? Storm ISP.
That sounds like the same sort of thing, where maybe it's not enabled if it's on 2-channel music. Is that possible with the Storm?
I don't know on that, Ryan. I don't have an answer for that. When we did, and mainly because when we did the Storm implementation here, that was not working. So we weren't able to use it. It's interesting that it's not activating, but it could be crossover related, possibly, because music doesn't play nearly down as low as you think it does. So it's possible that the bass shakers are set to play lower. I'm guessing. I don't know. And they're just not activating. If you send me an email to ryan@ascendav.net, I can ask Storm and we can see if we can get an answer for you. But off the top of my head, I don't have an answer.
I'm trying to play with my camera, but since it's got that auto tracking, it keeps failing me. So to the last comment, let me get my big head out of the way.
Are you talking about the SS18 against UM18?
No, on the previous comment with placement,
Mm-hmm.
you can see mine are pretty tight. So here's my seating position with my big head. And then Alexa, turn on the prime lights. So these are the speakers, right? So the front and the middle, and then in the back here are the rears.
The blue lights.
The blue light things. So you can see my angle is pretty tight, and I like it that way. And I chose that way. And I've been in rooms where it's wider, like out here, say at a wider distance, using my mouse like you guys can see it.
I do that all the time.
I definitely prefer it tighter. Okay, that's
too.
all.
I do too. Happy Bullet says, is the SS18 the new version of the UM18 that people are talking about?
It is the new version of the UM1822. I was just looking at a spec sheet. I mean, it looks pretty similar on the spec sheet, frankly.
But I think
it has
is better.
It has a tiny bit more sensitivity, has a tiny bit more power handling. I really haven't. It has a little bit higher impedance. I haven't really spent time modeling it or anything, just because I am happy with my subs and haven't gone. But I think it's supposed to be a slight improvement. Looks like it might have 26 millimeter X Max versus the old one. Yeah, a little bit more X Max. So I mean, it's just a hint better on a lot of different specs, and maybe $100 more or something in that ballpark. So yeah, I'd expect it to be a little bit better.
Would you notice, do you think?
Not in quantity. Not in quantity. It goes back to that whole conversation that we've had before where, I mean, I'll just retell it briefly. My friend bought the same box as I do, and he didn't want to buy a $250 driver like I did. He wanted to buy a $1,000 driver, so he wanted to buy the best. And he bought two LMS 5400. Those are TC Sounds LMS 5400. They're arguably the best 18-inch drivers ever been developed. Extremely low distortion numbers and tested by database, like a very solid driver. In fact, the database guy was saying that like it's probably the best driver that's ever created besides a 19-inch Rockford Fosgate. So seriously, a good driver. At any rate, all that said, he brings over his two LMS 5400 in the exact same boxes I have, exact same boxes. And then I have two of my UM1822s, and we hook them up to a 5,000 watt crown amp, and we're comparing the pair versus the pair. And at the end of the session, to put a little clarity on this, like he said, well, tell me why I spent this extra money on these drivers again. Because while they're measurably better, we couldn't tell the difference. And that was even with just a pair of them. Now, where you could tell the difference is they had an extra 2 or 3 dB in the tank. So when we took them up like with sweeps to the ragged limits, to their absolute max output, the LMS 5400 stayed clean another 2 or 3 dB on the frequency response chart. But the sound quality was so close that we couldn't. I mean, you just couldn't tell the difference. You just couldn't tell the difference. And he was trying to justify what he's paid money for, and I was curious what he got because I was thinking, do I need to replace what I have? You know, like if they were completely better, I probably would have gone down that path. But at the end of the time, like I said, his response to that was like, why did I spend all this money on these drivers? I can't even tell the difference.
And this is why it's really important to get things and design to the room instead of just buying what is the best.
Yeah, and I mean, in this one, we were doing them side by side. They were it was like a A/B test. We put them up in the front of the room, and we were just seeing what they did. And I'm not saying that it's not a better driver, but the question was, would you be able to tell the difference? And in quantity, I think the answer is probably no.
Well, the easy way to come to that conclusion when you're designing a space is how loud do you listen? If you're listening not at a level that requires that driver, you don't need it. Don't spend the money on it.
Yeah. Well, and then at that point, I mean, even there, like I got 8 of my drivers for the same driver price as he bought 2 of his drivers for.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 drivers with the uniformity of sound that comes, seating to seating variants, all that kind of stuff, placement opportunities. Like there's a lot of advantages. Now I had to buy more amps than he did, of course, but there's a lot of advantages to having 8 drivers in the frequency response, you know, in the ability to make your room really uniform.
Yep.
So yeah. Now, $100 difference of driver isn't really going to break anyone's back. So if you want to have the little bit better quality driver, go for it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'd agree with that. Cyclone CGS, is there a way to use mini DSP to limit output to protect subdrivers if the amp has more potential output than the drivers can handle?
I don't think the mini DSP has a limiter as far as I know. Let me pull it up. I mean, I own one.
It does.
I'm pulling it up. Now there's a new version. I don't have the newest software installed, but let's see. Last I've paid attention to it, it didn't have a limiter. It has a compressor, but that's not really the same thing as a limiter. Not really. No, it doesn't have a limiter. Not in the same way that like the Behringer iNukes have a limiter. My Crown N8300N has a limiter, where you basically say, I don't want any more than this amount of wattage. It converts it to voltage, but it reads it in wattage. I don't want more than this amount of wattage to apply to the speakers. So certain amps do have, pro audio amps do have those limiters, but mini DSP does not.
Nope. Zach ET6BC says, would QSC PLX 3602 be an okay amp for a butt kicker LFE?
Is that a DSP variant? PLX 3602.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess and say no.
X3602.
That's not gonna be a great choice.
That is actually not a digital DSP amp, so it might be.
But what is its response?
They're just going to quote you that 20 to 20, so it's going to be hard to know. The reason we were balking at first is because if it has a DSP on it, almost all the Pro Audio amps with DSP roll off at 20 hertz. QSC being no exception.
I don't even see a response on it.
It's page 2. I mean, it just says 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz with 0.05 distortion.
It does?
THD. Yeah, page 2 has it.
I'm looking at page 2.
Well,
oh,
it's on the top of page 2.
I
mean, that's a nice amp as far as signal to noise is 107.
Oh, I see it at 8 ohms.
QSC is like one of the top players in the Pro Audio realm. It's going to be a good amp for driving drivers. See if you can find any testing at like 10 hertz on it, because a lot of the Pro Audio stuff rolls off pretty hard at 20 hertz.
Yeah. MKH. Oh, go ahead.
While you're doing up the next one, I'm gonna see if I can Google search anything on that and see if I can find any testing on that.
Okay. MKH Audio says, what is the best way to connect 4 subs and 2 bass shakers to your system? Mini DSP only has 4 ports. Depends on the sub layout. How are you laying the subs out? And do you only have 1 sub out on your AVR?
He only has 1?
I'm asking if he does. So I need to know the sub layout, where your subs are located, how many sub outs you have on the AVR. If you can answer that, I can give you a better answer. MJX 60 flat 69 says, you guys say the Buckeye amps aren't the best. Can you expand on that statement?
Who said that? I don't think we said that, did we? I didn't say that.
So, I mean, they're not technically the absolute best measuring, but we've always said value for performance. They're one of the, if not the best amps out there for what you get. I don't know. I don't remember saying that. 3 subs out. So how would I do that?
If he's got 3 sub outs and he's got 4 subs, and is he pairing them up or 2 subs equidistant?
He hasn't said how he's laying the subs out yet in the room.
So bottom line is, if you got like 4 subs, you can easily pair them up. And say you put them equidistant from the main listening position in the front room, you can run those 2 split off subwoofer 1. And then if you got 2 in the back of the room equidistant, you can run those 2 split off subwoofer 2. And then you can run both your tactile transducers off subwoofer 3. Now, you could feed the mini DSP. You could do subwoofer 1 into mini DSP and split that out. The mini DSP is most important for the tactile transducers, for the butt kickers. So you absolutely need those on a channel of the mini DSP. I think that's probably how I'd do it. Subwoofer 1 does front 2 subs. Subwoofer 2 does the rear 2 subs. Subwoofer 3 does mini DSP, and you add distance into it in the AVR. Say you make it 5 foot farther distance than your other subs. That will make it fire faster, so that you can add some delay into it. So that delay is critical for butt kickers to get them aligned right. You need them to fire faster than the actual audio drivers, because they got a big slug that they're trying to move, like a 1 pound or a 2 pound slug, depending on which drivers or which butt kickers you have. And you need them to have an additional amount of time to like get moving. So what I do in my system is I have my butt kickers on a output, and I increase the distance, even though there's no real way to calculate the distance on that. I increase the distance by like 5 feet. Because you're increasing the distance, that tells the AVR, hey, I need to fire this channel faster than the others because it's further away and sound takes time to get there. So you're increasing the distance on that by 5 or 6, 10 feet, whatever. That makes it fire faster. And then you can add delay with a mini DSP in the hundredths of millisecond increments and get it dialed in perfectly. So firing faster, delay it to where it files perfectly or feels perfect with the other acoustic drivers.
And I'm going to go back to what we were talking about with that amp and why it's important to get certain amps. It's important because if you don't have an amp that has the necessary gusto down low, it's not going to get the slug moving appropriately. And we've talked about this before on streams, that the butt kicker is actually going to behave erratically in those low frequencies. It's not going to behave how it should because it doesn't have enough power coming from the amplifier. So on these PLXs, I don't know if it's going to deliver that. I need to see a response for it. And what they're doing, you could probably boost it, but if it's got a hard brick wall for a pass filter, it ain't going to work. So just piggybacking on that. But Jonathan's absolutely right on the negative delay for those kickers. Not very many people do that, but Jonathan has found that that is the best way to do it. And it does make a tremendous difference in how it's going to feel. It's going to feel much more natural getting everything aligned.
I can't at this quick drop of a hat. I'm not finding a bench test where it shows frequency response down below like anything. Really, I'm not finding a bench test at all. There may be something out there. You can even go to some of the do-it-yourself forums and ask some of the guys that have amp measuring equipment to see if they can measure one or post data.
There's nothing on Audio Science.
I when I'm web searching, it hasn't come up. Let me specifically look there. Audio Science.
I don't know if there's any other PLXs that have been reviewed by him. I guess I can help you with there. All right, let's see. If I were a QSC, where would I be? I don't see any on his. Oh, there's one. There's a DCA.
Yeah, but that's like a totally different class. So
I don't see any. Mm-mm.
Man, here's the deal. If you can get a good deal on that, like if you're eyeballing it because you found a good deal on it, especially since it's an older model, I'm assuming that's the case, then just try it. And if it doesn't work out for you, you can switch to another one. You'll know if it doesn't work out, if it starts like bottoming out the butt kickers. We've talked about that before on the channel too. Class D amps, a lot of times will start like bottoming out a butt kicker much faster than like a old school Class H or AB type amp that's got a big toroidal transformer and is very heavy. Like what I always recommend with the butt kickers is the old style amps that weigh 70 pounds or 50 pounds, depending on what size output you have. And that's where you get a lot of power. Like the old joke is that, hey, you can weld with this, and you need that kind of output, sustained output for those butt kickers to keep those slugs moving real well. They seem to respond so much better to like that old iron power than they do with the switching power supply, the new Class D switching power supply. Specifically speaking of butt kickers, I'm not even talking about audio drivers, subwoofer drivers. I think subwoofer drivers respond fine on Class D. I'm specifically talking about butt kickers.
Fat Man with another question. Floating 4 discussions talk about better tactile feel. Would you placing a sheet of OSB down and building on that, on top of that, on top of carpet be worth the trouble, or just go hover easy?
Man, you would have to put something to give it some airspace. You can't just have it like sitting on top of the concrete, or it's going to pretend to be concrete. But if you, let's say, Ryan, what do you think about this? If you took a sheet of OSB and you bought some of those Hudson Hi-Fi feet, and say maybe you put like 16 of those, or maybe even 8 or 12 of those Hudson Hi-Fi feet below it that are like soft, like low durometer rubber, and you made your floor out of that, what do you think about that idea? You wouldn't add much height. It'd be the 3/4 inch of OSB plus like an inch and a quarter or an inch and a half of whatever that Hudson Hi-Fi foot is. I think you could get some bounce that way.
I'd worry about compression of those feet over time. I don't know what they would do over a
like
period of
over
time.
10 years or 20 years or something.
Yeah. What about just doing it with 2 layers and green glue?
I think you'd need some airspace in there to get the bounce like you want. If you're trying to replicate like a riser setup or a suspended floor setup, you probably need to do that. I don't think
I'm
it
not
takes much space because, like, well, the jury's still out. I haven't experienced it yet, but Tim's real happy with the way his little short riser. He made one just literally very short to get enough airspace to make it feel like a suspended floor in his room. And he says he's real happy with the way that turned out.
I'm not the one to ask about this because I don't like floating floors.
Mhm.
That's just me. I think there's other ways that you can get this. I mean, you can use Crosons, you can use tactile, you can do all that kind of stuff. I just don't feel like floating floors feel natural to me.
Let me see if I can get a Hudson Hi-Fi feet to show you guys what those are like.
You guys didn't know that Jonathan actually has the Parts Express warehouse attached to his house. He's always just getting up and just walking back to the warehouse and grabbing stuff. He's left us. He's abandoned us. It's in a drawer. You think he'll find it? Do you think he has one? I think he does. So Bruce suggested that I watch Troll 2, and then funnily enough, Netflix has just put it on my screen of Troll 2. He found him.
Why is this camera, this goofy thing,
It wanted to follow you walking off.
decides that it's going to go into the moon? Okay, so here's a tale of two different feet. This is like a pretty traditional subwoofer foot that like Parts Audio Express sells, and it's supposed to be rubber, and it's hard as a rock. Let me see if I can here. These little XLR things. It doesn't bend at all. You can't compress it at all. People sometimes use these on chair feet or subwoofer feet or, you know, various things. They're a really hard, like durometer, super high durometer. And this is Hudson Hi-Fi feet. They are a super low durometer, almost like a gummy bear in consistency. Real squishy, like just smushy. And they're supposed to hold up to 50 pounds each. I think something like that. I mean, you probably can't even tell how much this moves, but like I can bend it. You can bend it like in half, like almost like a big hard gummy bear, but
See, I just worry that those are going to compress over time.
so these are probably 6 or 7 years old. I used them on my old chairs. They have some sort of 3M adhesive on them. And I don't think it's really compressed, but you're right. I don't know how it would work.
I don't think you would need to do that. Just put OSB on a bunch of pieces of wood.
The difference, I will tell you this, the difference between like the Hudson Hi-Fi foot and the standard rubber subwoofer foot thing is so tremendous. Like if you have these hard ones and you want your chair to bounce a little bit more, throw these things in the trash. That's all they're good for. This will make your chair get a little bit of up and down bounce with acoustic energy, and it really makes a difference. And I think they're absolutely worth pursuit. There's a pack of 4 of them is like $20, and they're absolutely worth putting on your chair. Like replace those hard feet with those, and you'll appreciate it.
You guys in the pursuit of floating floors, I have no interest.
To each their own.
Nope. When you walk outside on dirt, does it feel like it's floating? No. I don't want to feel like I'm on a boat.
Well, that's what Hover Easy does to me.
No.
I feel like you're kind of like on an old hoopty car, and it's like an old Cadillac with the hoopy suspension. You just kind of bounce around. I don't really like that.
No. It's each their own. Just not my thing. Good question. MKH Audio. Does Fozzy Audio ZA3 work on an amp for Dayton 300 watt high power bass shaker? I'm assuming that is an amp.
Why do I feel like we got this question before?
I feel like it's a little baby amplifier.
I'm pretty sure we got this in the past. Maybe not real recently, but sometime in the past.
Fozzy Audio Z.
And yeah, it was in the last few. It was like in the last month. Is this like the same guy?
I don't know.
I brought my T amp out, and we talked about T amps for a while. Remember that conversation? It's still sitting there on my desk because I'm lazy and I never put it away.
Oh,
That was the stimulus, I think. Hey, you just coming in to see if our answer changes week after week?
I'm gonna let you answer it, so you could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know anything about the Dayton 300-watt high-power bass shakers. I don't know what kind of slug they're throwing around. I don't know anything about that Fozzy amp. Try it. If you got a good beat on the Fozzy, try it.
I don't think it's going to deliver 300 watts.
I think we told him not to try it last time, so I'm just mixing it up since he's asking us twice.
I have no idea. I know nothing about either of those things.
This is like clearly a little Class D.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a little tiny amp. It's got like a very small PSU. That's not how I would do it, man. I just told you I would go with like a big old heavy toroidal transformer, Class AB, Class H, like type amp, like a big heavy one. I wouldn't do a little T amp thing.
STV Reed says, I'm using OSD XA 7180 amp with my Dayton shakers, and I'm using 2 to 6 dB, 2 negative 6 dB attenuators because turning the AVR down to negative 12 isn't enough. It's fair.
2 to 6 dB attenuator. Oh, 2 6 dB. A pair of 6 dB attenuators. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. We've talked about that before. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
These little guys. Did you find them on our podcast, or did you already know about them? Oh, Instalink 360, for good or bad, it's the Instalink 362, I think.
It does a good job.
For a little $150 camera, it does real good.
Unless it wants to be Wally and follow you around.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets a little obnoxious but you can turn that off or down or whatever, too.
Does a good job. Any suggestions on CEC settings?
Yes, use them.
I like CEC.
I do too.
When it works.
Here's a lament of mine, Ryan. Now that I'm using 2 projectors fairly frequently, and they're actually both hung, I can't use CEC because when I turn one off, then the whole system powers down.
Loser.
So I've had to disable CEC, which means my kids have to get used to the remote. And in order to not leave the JVC on, I had to make the background screen blue so they know it's on. Otherwise, they just think it's off and leave. So they know how to turn on the projectors with the remotes, but man, CEC was nice when I could use it.
Stitch says, is that an attenuator in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
Stitch, this is a family show. Cut that out.
Margaret Wood, have you guys tried the XGME projectors? They're getting some good hype. That's the new big boy.
No, but there's an XGME Titan coming out that could be of interest.
Yes.
Pull that up. You want to pull it up? You want me to?
Go ahead.
Screen share.
You probably know where to look. I don't.
Oh, I was just going to go.
I'm excited about it. I hope it's good. Put pressure on the industry.
I hope it's good. At this point, I don't have a lot of confidence in stuff like this, but I hope it's good.
I don't either.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
5,000 lumens. Yay. A huge amount of color space. Let me see if I can find that. It's in here somewhere. Oh, they're trying to give me a prize. It's got Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus, IMAX Enhanced. Like, those are cool things that the normal, like, the big companies, the big 3, Sony, Epson, and JVC, don't have. So that's cool. They only have HDR10 Plus on those big 3. It's got lens shift, both vertical and horizontal, which is a step up from the Valerian. It's got the big DLP chip, the 0.78. In fact, I think I was reading on AVS that this is like the first of the inexpensive consumer model DLPs with that 0.78 chip. Most of them use that 0.47 chip. And then it's got the 3 laser engine. It's supposed to have good contrast, but that's where we're curious and hesitant, right? 150% P3 color gamut. That's cool. Real cool, actually, if it's legit. I mean, by the specs, this should like beat all, but it won't. And so why won't it? Because the contrast won't. Prediction time. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen it. The contrast won't match something like JVC and may not match Epson. If they can match Epson with 5,000 lumens at $4,000 and way better color and no RBE, that's the other gotcha. RBE on DLPs,
I don't
single chip
think the
DLPs.
DLPs, they're not going to get that high. What's Epson's native contrast?
5,001 native and like on the QB or the LS 12,000, 5,000 to 1 native and 247,000 to 1 dynamic. This is lying and saying 5 million to 1 dynamic. This will never hit 5 million to 1 dynamic contrast. DLPs just don't do that. Not single chip consumer DLPs.
So on all of the DLPs that I know of, they have to use apertures in order to significantly improve their contrast. It's entirely possible that this one has an aperture from the factory that is allowing it to do that, and it's actually the light engine is creating significantly more than 5,000 lumens. But my guess would be that its actual native contrast, and this is based solely on the properties of a DLP, right? This isn't me saying it's just going to be crap to be crap. This is just the properties of DLP. If you look at all the main big cinema projectors, Barco, Christie, 2001 on DLP.
Look at this targeting marketing. AVS enthusiast.
Wow, that is targeted. Targeted.
You guys hear us saying that we don't think it will probably meet the expectations they're praising and promising. If it does, it's going to be a game changer because this product would probably at the specs they're advertising would best the QL3000, and the QL3000 is like the winner in that segment right now, and it costs 16 grand. Well, this is 4 grand. I I I don't expect it really to beat the QL3000, but time will tell. Maybe it will.
Yeah, maybe it will.
And I hope it does, frankly. I mean, that's the reality. I hope that does. It's better for everybody if the projector market moves forward.
Yep. Again, I'm not dogging it, saying 2001's my prediction for the native contrast. That is just a limitation of DLPs. That's how they are. So unless there's some new thing, that's my expectation. I'm hopeful I'm wrong. And I'm hopeful it's very good because that would be great for the industry.
So that's called the T10 in China, and saw it in a store, and it didn't look too bad. The problem with seeing that stuff in a store is you would expect it to look good, right? If it's got good color space and it's bright, 5,000 lumens, you can't at all evaluate contrast in like a typical store, unless you're in some sort of like AV enthusiast, store where they actually control the light. Otherwise, you don't really necessarily know what you're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I would love to hear more. Uh, do you have any contacts for something like that, Ryan?
I can ask.
That'd be cool to demo something like that and see.
It would be.
Compares.
It would be.
I mean, for 5,000 lumens, there's nothing for $4,000 with 5,000 lumens that's even close that I can think of as far as like output on brightness. I mean, the Valerian Pro got all that praise, and it was like less than 3,000 lumens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is quite a bit more. It's an evolution of that style space with the larger DLP chip. Who knows? Though maybe we're way off. With the new DLP chip, it could be a difference.
Maybe. We'll find out.
We told him no on the FOSS. Now he's back with Emotiva Base X5. No, I mean that's a 100-watt amplifier, isn't it? The Base X5. Let me look it up. I think
that's on Audio Science Review, though.
I thought that was like 100 by 5 type amplifier. Is that true? I'm looking it up.
Let's see.
Specs: 95 watts per channel, 130 watts into 4 ohms. So it's a 100-watt amplifier effectively. No, that's not what you want. Now, that being said, that's not what you want for a butt kicker. Is that what you want for a Dayton Audio 300-watt bass shaker? I have no idea. I've never had my hands on that. But if it's got a big iron slug in it, like what the butt kickers have, you want more power than that. I have 150, is 150 watt, something like that, butt kicker amp that I've tried using my. No, let me just look it up real quick. Butt kicker amps. Let me make sure I'm talking right. It's 130 watt butt kicker BKA 130C. So 130 watt mono amplifier that has a little remote control that you can change. I was originally hoping, since that was first party branded and they advertised to work with the Advance, that it would be a good match for my butt kicker Advances, and it's just not powerful enough. It bottoms them out before they should. So hooking it up, I have it hooked up to a Crown XLS 202 instead. Those are $100 on eBay. A Crown XLS 202, and it smokes that little butt kicker 130 as far as output.
So here's the response of that Base X. This is the Base X A500.
Let me see this better. Yikes. Why is it rolling off so hard below 300, 200 hertz? Oh, that's not a frequency response plot. It's too small on my screen. What are we looking at here?
This is the sweep.
Okay. So what is the power is the load, and it does drop a lot. It looks like it drops a lot down below, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not a good match. That's a bad match. Look on eBay and buy yourself a Crown XLS 202. You can make a butt kicker jump off the ground with a Crown XLS 202. Like on the carpet, it will jump up and down off the carpet. You shouldn't need any more power than that, and they're inexpensive and they're so common. Now, that's in the US. I have no idea, where you are as far as that, or if you can get them, but an XLS 202, a 402, a 802. I drive 6 butt kickers with an XLS 802, and it's plenty.
Jimmy Anderson, anywhere to read up on CEC trouble? I'm pulling my hair out with a Marantz running all the time, which means AV10, 3 separate amps and 2 RS2 are on throughout the day, night when no one is in the room. So it's turning itself on.
What projector or TV is he running? Because the
Sony.
The amps and the RS2 have nothing to do with this.
No, it's going to be the Marantz and the Sony.
Power. I mean, my Marantz AV10, the same unit as yours, has been 100% reliable with the JVC, not the JVC, the Epson LS 12,000, like for 2 years. Not one issue with HDMI CEC. So with CEC, and Ryan, you might have more of a gauge on this since you work with MadVR so much, but really unplug everything and plug them in one at a time. Like unplug everything, power cycle everything, and plug them in one at a time with like using it between plugging it in. And I'm talking about HDMI connections. That's the standard advice on AVS forum, and I've seen it work on different threads over the years many times. So something can get out of whack. Make sure that they're both enabled, that it's both bidirectional. You want bidirectional on your projector or your TV. You want bidirectional on your Marantz AV10. Once you get those set up, though, man, it should be hands off.
Yeah. That's where I would start. Start unplugging things and plugging things back in and reset all your settings.
It's important to power cycle between plugging in new things, too. Like, don't just unplug them all back in. Unplug them, plug in just your projector. Unplug them, power cycle, plug in just your projector. Pull up your setup menu, make sure it works. Power cycle. Plug in just your Blu-ray player. Power cycle. And use each one each time. And it establishes that HDMI sync and everything will be okay.
If it's not, I'll tell you where Jonathan lives. Fatman says, I've been watching you guys, wanting to catch you guys live to ask Jonathan how he pairs his phone screen for movie watching on the floor, legs crossed as for Ryan, to the Behringer B15X for optimal playback. Because we all know Jonathan only watches movies on his phone. He only watches demo clips in his theater.
That's a farce. That's a farce.
Totally true. You're going to learn that if you come over to his place for M-Wave. And just a reminder, the VIP tickets are live. We're still waiting to complete Tim's setup. Stitch, who's in chat, his VIP page, but you can go to midwestavexperience.net and check out the VIP section, and those tickets are available if you guys have any interest.
Hey, for another iteration of this, because that ZA3 isn't actually 235 watts, like
No way.
they just aren't. And besides that, it probably rolls off real hard down low frequencies. It's not a good choice for your butt kicker.
It's probably
Now,
24 or 48 dB per octave.
it may be that Parts Express butt kicker's no good anyway. Like, I don't know anything about that. I haven't read up on them. I don't know anything about that. So you might have a bad amp and a bad amp choice and a bad tactile transducer choice.
Unknown. I don't have a good answer. Jonathan's looking something else up, though.
I was just going to try to pull that up and figure out what he's got for his tactile transducer. Parts Express plus tactile. Let's see what it has. There's such a big difference. I mean, I've gone through and tested almost all these different bass shakers at one point. There's so many, I can't keep up with them all, but I've tried most of the big ones on the market. There's tremendous differences in their capability, their performance, their feel, like tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't expect, oh, they're all similar and they're knockoffs of each other. They just aren't. They got different plugs. They've got different responses. Some of them have like a threshold before they'll even engage and are violent. And some of them are subtle, like a Clark Synthesis Silver that I owned for a while. It's just a real subtle kind of acoustic driver energy that actually makes sound. It's almost like a subwoofer driver itself. Like the I-beams are different. The butt kickers are different. The Clarks are different. They're all different.
Which one is the best?
My favorite is the butt kicker for the violence of it. Like if you have it dialed in correctly, they can get really violent. And I think that's kind of fun for an explosion or something. And they also don't activate until they get to a certain threshold. So they're not distracting at lower volumes. They are critical to have them dialed in correctly or they are not good. Like they'll detract from your experience if you don't have them dialed in correctly. I don't like auras. They're not powerful enough. The butt kicker gamers are junk. The butt kicker concerts, the little ones that are like, they have like a 6-ounce slug or something. They're junk because they can't do low frequencies. They bottom out. They don't have enough feel. The butt kicker advance is the bottom line that you want to get as far as going into the butt kicker. The Clark Synthesis couldn't get violent enough for me. Like they didn't have enough feel to be what I wanted. The little Dayton Audio thing looks like kind of if I'm just being frank, it looks like kind of a joke. Like it looks too small. Now, maybe I'm gonna be surprised and it sounds good, but I've heard the Aura Sound, those butt kicker, the Dayton Audio looks similar to the Aura Sound as far as size, and the Aura Sound's not any good. Like I think it's not worth buying. So I'm opinionated on this, but I have a lot of experience with it. I've owned these things. I've tried them out in my home. I've done a lot of testing with them. And in my opinion of these devices that are consumer based, like the butt kicker advance is kind of a bottom threshold you should go, and it's about $200 a pop. If you want something better, then like you go to a Clark, what am I thinking of the name? The Clarkson or something like that. What is it called? Croson. Thank you. Croson is a $500 a pop, and it feels pretty natural. It also is a little subtle for me. I don't think it gets as violent as a butt kicker. So
it's different. The Croson is different.
All different. All these are different.
I like the butt kicker.
The Croson is kind of just a mechanical thing that you put under a chair leg, and you put kind of squishy things on other chair legs, and it just lifts your seat ever so slightly, but it's very subtle. So like if you have near field subs, Sheldon and I have experimented with this. If you have near field subs, there's not any real reason to keep the Krausen because this near field subs overwhelm the Krausen. You don't even know the Krausen's on. It's very natural feeling. It feels legit, but it's very subtle. The butt kicker can be violent. A near field sub cannot replicate what a butt kicker can do if you want to have that, because it's a 1 pound slug shaking your seat around, and it feels like it could shake you out of the chair if you turn it up. Now, you don't want that. I don't want that, but go watch some YouTube videos and see what a butt kicker can do and realize that you can dial it down and turn it down to what you want. I want to have that capability. So if there's some sort of deep low note in THX and I want the chair to be doing this, I can have it. So that's my preference.
He can have it and feel it too.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have any universal remote recommendations? Sofa Baton has mixed reviews. They all suck.
That's sad to hear.
I like HD Web Remote from Nick. Does what I need it to do, and it's free. You have to know what you're doing to set it up. You have to have your own server and a device that you can use in the theater, laptop or whatever. Anything with a web browser will work, but that's what I like. It's the most universal and it's free. But if you need a remote, I don't have a recommendation. I don't like any of them, unfortunately. I need to try Ava again. Supposedly it's better. It's gotten better. But no. Jonathan, what's the main reason you dislike direct art?
So when we did Dirac in my room, I don't know if we just needed to run the calibration again or what, but we had Matt help us with it. So it wasn't like it was amateur hour. I mean, he was doing kind of the white glove treatment that he would do for a customer. I felt like, and I think we ran into this may just be an incompatibility with my speakers because my speakers are a little different than mainstream speakers. It actually ended up making some of the speakers. Ryan, do you remember this? Like in the right speaker, you said, "Hey, that speaker's blown," and we turned Dirac off, and it wasn't. I mean, we weren't running enough power to blow a speaker, but it was doing EQ to the point where it made my speaker make some bad noises.
I think it was doing support groups and it was pushing the speaker too low.
I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I didn't like what it did at the end of the day as much as I just like my manual EQ, which is just a smiley face EQ. And more than that, to further on that little interesting thing, I don't even want to go into this conversation because we've done it so many times. But effectively, when you're trying to tailor a very precise, perfect main listening position frequency response, it will absolutely be in a small room or a medium-sized room to the detriment of the outside seats. It has to be. Because if it's going through and making so many narrow Q adjustments to the frequency response to tailor that middle seat so flat, and it's trying to overcome room interactions, that it will do things that are very small Q, very high elevation, unless you set some sort of limits. And so if you don't set limits, those changes that it's doing for the middle seat, let's say it needs to raise 1,000 hertz by 6 dB and it needs to cut 300 hertz by 7 dB, and there's 500 of those variations it's doing to try to make a perfectly flat response in the middle row. Those changes are not going to be applicable in the left, right, and rear seats. And so if you already have a mode where it's making a boost, then you're going to end up with like way too much at a certain frequency, and it makes the audio sound off on outside seats, in my opinion. Now, if you had a giant room or you're outside or something, then it's fine. But in a typical room, like if you just take a measurement mic and you move it around the room, there's so much variation. Even just moving the mic 6 inches up or down or 6 inches left or right, there's so much variation. 10 dB is nothing. Like that's just what it's doing. So if you're tailoring one seat for that, then you might be doing that at the expense of the other seats, especially if you have a wide listening area. And that's what I found with Dirac in my room, is that while it might sound good in the main listening position in the left or right seat, it didn't sound good. And I do care about all my seats because I have 6 people in my family who listen. And so that's my take.
Stitch, last question. What kind of theater related gear would you guys recommend as Christmas gifts? Obviously, Jurassic Predator memorabilia. Jesus, please, nobody buy me any of that. Actually, that would be hilarious if there was memorabilia on that. One of my customers actually got me. Have I shown this? Hold on. It's nothing big, but I thought this was super cool. I didn't even know these existed. I love Godzilla. Okay. Jonathan, I know it's not your favorite, but he got me this. So this is a comic. There's a series about it, and it's Godzilla versus Kansas City. And so
that's cool.
It's cool because it's cheesy, the story and stuff, because like the city comes to life, but it has all the landmarks of Kansas City in it. Like here's the Memorial. It's got, there's Kaufman. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Did you know that this gentleman also sent the same thing to me? So we got the same comic book.
Oh, you did?
We're brothers in more than one way besides
Oh,
our
I did
sweatshirt.
not know that. I didn't know he sent it to you.
Yeah, and a nice little letter to boot, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
I
that was
really
cool,
appreciate
handwritten
that.
letter.
Yeah,
It was
so I
nice.
thought this was super cool, and then they did, it's 3 stories in one, and there's, like, barbecue and the weather, and I don't remember what the last one was, but I thought it was super cool. So I think the best gifts for somebody that's in theater isn't something that's like a piece of gear. It's little things like this that I think make the best gifts surrounding the movies and memorabilia or signage and that kind of thing, that you're not having to think about the objective side of things, especially if you're not that person. You're just thinking about the things that they have nostalgia for or love or any of that. So yeah, got that. And I thought that was super awesome. I didn't know you got one.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
know you
cool.
got one.
Well,
But it's cool. It was a real nice
it was. I
handwritten
love the
too.
note. Yeah, I had no idea that was coming either. It just showed up. I'm like, dang, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So thought that was awesome. Do you have any suggestions for people? Movies are also a great one.
That was what had come to
Music.
my mind. So, I mean, occasionally a guest will give me like just a gift card to a movie. That's kind of fun to go to a commercial movie. You know, like, hey, take your wife out and enjoy a movie together on me. That's kind of thing's a nice gift.
Happy Bullet says, I bought you both velvet robes and you both never wear them.
I have worn them. Actually, my basement's cold in the winter, and I sometimes wear that when I'm working just to stay warm.
So
It's
I
right by my
did
work
wear
computer.
it, and then my son stole it. So my son comes down looking like,
Darth Vader
no,
or a graduate.
what's the name of the guy from Playboy? Hugh Hefner?
Hugh Hefner.
Yeah. In like a full length robe with slippers and stuff on. That's what he comes down the stairs as. In the robe that's way too big for him. And it's just, yeah, he stole it. So he definitely uses it. It absolutely gets used, Happy Bullet. So don't worry.
That was actually, speaking of good gifts, that was a good gift because it was right on point and kind of it's a humor gift, right? Because we're always talking about how everyone needs to wear dark clothes during our projector meet when we have a high contrast projector. So,
so that was, they do get used.
Like an inside gift, an inside joke gift.
And then, my brain is dying. I think it was Mark gave me
your wet base sign.
Yes. Which is fantastic. I don't even know what spurred him to do that. The sign is awesome, and it sits outside the theater. It has 2 signs.
Is it like aluminum or a steel sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice. Super cool. So things like that can live regardless of the changes that is made in the theater or media or anything like that. Those are the things that people remember and that appreciate. At least I do. So that's my recommendation. Got anything else? I'm happy now. Yeah. No, they're used. I avoided wearing it all the time because my dogs, that robe would change colors. It would be white instead of black. So my son uses it up in his room. Anything else before we wrap up so you can go decorate?
No, my wife will be happy that I'm coming to participate in the festivities.
Predator 2 would be a good gift if you hate the person. Hey, Predator 2 is not that bad. War of the Worlds would be
War of the Worlds, because that on Blu-ray?
God, I hope not.
I wonder. That's a stocking stuffer for your worst enemy.
You can buy it for me. Did Jurassic Predator make it to disc? If it did, I'm going to buy it.
No, that's too low for even your worst enemy. One step too far. It doesn't look like War of the Worlds is on Amazon.
Is this that movie? No, it can't be.
What did you? Is Jurassic Predator on Amazon? Surely not.
No, this is a different movie. No, it's not.
It is. You can buy it on DVD.
Yes, you can.
$8.56.
It's $4.
Oh wait, they even have it on Blu-ray, but it's currently unavailable.
Oh my god.
No, there it is.
Where?
Surely that doesn't even look like the right cover. I just was
Where?
scrolling down. That's not the same movie, is it?
What are you talking about?
Jurassic Predator.
I don't see it.
No, apparently there's another movie with Jurassic Predator that has an alligator.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't see that.
Yeah, that's not the
But
same.
you can buy it.
Maybe that's the one Bruce Barnes was talking about, and we looked at the wrong
No, he
movie.
wasn't. He told us to watch it on Prime. He knows what he was doing.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
The one that's $4 is out of stock. I can buy the $9 version off Amazon. It has 3.7 stars.
No,
That's not possible.
that's
With
like
28
director and his
reviews.
family.
28 reviews.
Dude, the actual graphic on the front of the case is better than anything in the movie. Look, are you looking at the same one I am right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Top reviews from other countries. Okay. Lynn Lockhurst, 4 stars. Good movie. Arrived quickly.
Oh man.
No.
Just no. The second review, just no. That's me. The third one, painful. Please do not buy this very low grade budget film.
JP Fish says awful, cheap, no brainer.
Amazon has the audacity to sell films like this. You should hang your heads in shame. I've never been more disgusted, not only in the extremely poor quality of the film, but also the Amazon are quite happy for customers to purchase this film, knowing it to be complete and utter rubbish. Yeah.
The other issue is that I have Prime and I can't get it through Prime. I still have to pay $4 for delivery.
Why are you buying it? Don't buy that.
I'm not
Don't buy
buying
that
it.
for me. I will burn it in a fire.
I would laugh if somebody gave this to me. I don't know what I would do with it. Oh, I can't believe it's actually available. Is War of the Worlds available?
What's that?
Is War of the Worlds available?
No, I didn't see that one. The cover art is a hook. The dinosaur is a cheap-looking puppet that shows up in the last 5 minutes with an explanation so thin it makes no sense at all. Yes.
So War of the Worlds is not available on disc. It's just available on Prime. It's unfortunate. It's one of my favorite movies.
No, don't even, like, someone might catch that out of context and go watch it. It's not even worth joking about.
I mean, if you want to see what we're talking about, if you want to know what a bad movie's like, yeah, both of these are great examples. All right. Calling it. You can go decorate.
Yeah,
go hang with the family. And I will be on to stream again tomorrow. We're going to talk about some stuff that I need to get rid of, that I need to sell. So not a ton of stuff, but that's what we'll talk about. And I'll answer some of your guys' questions if anything comes up tomorrow. So it's been a fun one. Not too long a stream, hour and a half. We got to talk about best movie ever made, to sacrilege that movie didn't win an Oscar. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a movie that I will never forget.
I hope I forget it. Like,
you won't.
Whatever it takes.
You won't. That little piece of you is forever now devoted to Jurassic Predator.
I just need a screenshot of the sausage coming out of the empty pans. The
There was nothing else. It was just sausage.
It was so
just
dumb.
Sausage. And it was like the German sausage, like the Lynx. That's what it was. And it was
with some like Kool-Aid blood splattered around.
That's what it was. It's worth watching, guys, just so you know what we're talking about. Feel free to turn it off. Don't feel like you have to be dedicated like we, for whatever reason, did. But yeah. Okay. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow. We will, who knows when we'll see Jonathan again. Probably next week, but we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.